tonight whilst they've been in the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, it's
enjoying it.
It's the darts man from the radio. I've got a clue who I am.
Did they give you any feedback? Were they enjoying
they were enjoying it very much.
Looking great. Right, the dance camera comes on you. Hello, Teletubby. Next up.
And I'm pretty sure, Chris Murphy, that is the first back-to-back competitive wins that Michael van Gerwen has put together in the year 2025.
Yeah, remarkable that we could even say that the last time it happened was actually a semi-final win against Chris Dobey. Well, technically in 2025 at the World Championship, but last season, in terms of this season, Michael van Gerwen doing that for the first time and doing it well as well. Yes, in the end the average dipped because he really did stumble over the line, missing multiple match darts, but at the time he was 5-1 up, got the job done 6-1, and if you take out those missed doubles at the end, he pretty much repeated the performance from the quarterfinals, which does augur well, not just winning back-to-back, but playing well back-to-back.
So what that means is that MVG is guaranteed to move on to 13 points at least. So Littler is guaranteed 18 points, possibly 21, but he's got to win here tonight in order to do that. And of course he's got to beat Cross in the semi-final. So the points tallies I've got here, Murph, as it stands, with the Littler Cross semi-final to come and Van Gerwen through to the final, Littler 18, Humphries 15, MVG 13, Price 12 and Cross 10 in terms of those who are in double figures. Aspinall still on 8, Dobey up to 5, Bunty still on 0.
Yeah, so a bad night for Nathan Aspinall and potentially a bad night for Gerwyn Price in Cardiff. That 170 from Rob Cross could have changed everything for him. He probably now wants Littler to win this and keep it between the top 4 with Price, Van Gerwen, Littler and Humphries, the players that are kind of creating a separation in the league table. But if Cross can win this, then that does put pressure on Price.
And a reminder that the quarter-final lineup for next week in Newcastle, live on talkSPORT 2, is purely determined by the league standings at the end of tonight. That draw will be made based on who is where. So Bunting already knows he's first up against Luke Littler. That's guaranteed, isn't it?
Yeah, can't be caught at the top of the table tonight.
That's your luck, Stephen Bunting.
Exactly.
Anyway, you can hear the dulcet tones of John McDonnell getting ready to introduce the two semi-finalists, one of whom has spoilt the party somewhat by knocking out the local hero, as you very cleverly put.
Yeah.
The man who owns a chippy gets beaten by the big fish.
Yeah, we might hear a few boos here. Dance, what do you think?
Well, darts fans, they're like elephants. They've got very long memories, haven't they? And you don't need a long memory to remember what happened on that stage not an hour ago, when Voltage, Rob Cross, former world champion, took out 170 in a deciding leg, with Gerwyn Price lurking to sensationally steal that quarter-final and get through to the semis. But actually, I don't hear much booing. Still see the determination on Rob Cross's manager's face as he makes his way to the stage. It's funny, managers don't get talked about that much, but the television show that Sky broadcast over the World Championships 2 years ago is a wonderful insight into just how tense players, managers get, how fully invested they are Now they get more wound up than the players they manage.
Yeah, well, they're the first person they see before they go on stage, the last person they see before they go on stage, the first person after, and I suppose they can often be verbal punch bags for darts players, can't they? They go through it with them, no doubt about that.
So Cross is on stage, he's done his handshakes, and now it's time for the kid. The man on everybody's lips. Unflappable up to this point, it seems. Ticking off the ranking majors as he goes. Reigning Premier League champion, now UK Open champion. Will be highly seeded at the World Match Play in July, which is something that he wasn't on his first match play appearance last year when he came up against MVG in the first round and went home. But Luke Littler on his way to the stage, looking very relaxed, posing for the selfies. And Littler is another opponent who's head-to-head against the guy he's about to face, Rob Cross, is pretty good. I think it's 10-2.
Yeah, correct, including a couple of wins in the Premier League already this year. Luke Littler as well. We mentioned it about Michael van Gerwen breaking that semi-final. Well, Luke Littler hasn't lost a semi-final in the Premier League, won all of the ones that he's played in. Rob Cross, in fact, not much has been made of it, but he's played in 3 semi-finals and lost them all, so none of the form-based stats are pointing towards anything but a Luke Littler victory here. And the world champion just takes a sip of water, takes it all in, and gets ready to go into battle. And Chris Mason, our esteemed colleague, Premier pundit here on talkSPORT 2, pointed
and World
out.
Seniors Darts Ambassador, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Shouldn't forget that now.
He said, if you want to get Luke Littler, you've got to get him in the first match. And the fact that he's won all his semi-finals kind of speaks to that point.
And the curse of the 9 darters struck Rob Cross as a semi-finalist. So let's see how the former world champion and the current world champion can deal with it. So 5 players in double figures in terms of the points won. Cross still has the chance to win 3 points more. He can convert 10 points to 13 by the end of the night and win his first Premier League encounter of the series. Then that will really shake things up, and as you say, pile the pressure on Gerwyn Price and Nathan Aspinall.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I'm going to go full Chris Mason myself here and give you a really honest opinion.
Go on then.
I think it's only between Cross and Price for 4th place in the Premier League. I think the top 3 are, in whatever order, going to be Van Gerwen, Littler and Humphries. And based on the table as it stands now and what we've seen from the players in the first 7 weeks, I really think only Cross and Price are realistic contenders for the playoffs.
So Cross getting underway with this second semi-final. As always, a race to 6 legs. First to 6 goes through. Littler pops in a ton to get things going against Rob Cross. As you say, recent meetings have gone Littler's way. He won the semi-final the last time they met in this year's tournament, and he won that semi-final by 6 legs to 3.
Yeah, just 107.82 average in that one as well, Dance.
It's just not good enough, is it?
Well, not quite as good as the Players' Championship finals when they met in Minehead at the back end of last year. 6-0 to Luke Littler on that occasion. The average was 112.73.
Boy, oh boy. But Cross's last win was in the Grand Prix last autumn. 2 sets to 1 he beat Luke. That's the tournament, for those that can't or aren't aware. That's the tournament, double in, double out in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, one that many are surprised Rob Cross hasn't had more success in, because the key feature of his game has been his success on the doubles, particularly certain doubles like 16s and 18s, but it hasn't been the event for him.
Must get your thoughts, actually, as we're thinking about the Grand Prix. Speaking to Chris Mason earlier about Brendan Dolan, 319 consecutive appearances in Players' Championship events, but wasn't there in Germany this week for Players' Championship 7 and 8.
Yeah, remarkable. Come on to that in a moment. Cross on 117, only to hold his throw. Littler waiting on 70 if he doesn't. Well, you mentioned earlier tonight, Dance, bullseye double 10. Wonder if we'll see that. We might not get the opportunity to, because Rob Cross has found a treble 19, so it's tops for the first leg. Missed.
Bentley wire from underneath, hitting single 20. So went treble 10 for tops, 60 left for Littler, 20 for tops. Oh, ruthless final dart, rammed into the middle of that bed with such ferocity from Luke Littler to break through.
Yeah, it almost defies logic, doesn't it, how he threw the last dart harder than he did one or two, and yet it was still as accurate. 180 to back it up as well after a break of throw. Yeah, on the point about Brendan Dolan, I think it's becoming obvious now that all the players are seeing the fact that they just can't be held to sort of rankings ransom, as I've heard it called in the past. They think that maybe managing their calendar a little better could actually result in higher rewards.
Okay, well, we'll see whether that means that Brendan can manage his calendar, so we might see him in Blackpool come July, but it's a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean,
so much jostling for position.
It's a gamble, isn't it? Littler himself and all the Premier League players, they simply have to do that, and all the players in the past think, well, I've got to go to every Pro Tour because I'm losing ground if I don't. But what if you miss one that you may have lost first round in both in, and then as a result of being fresh, you make the quarters or semi-finals? It's an interesting gamble.
Littler on throw in leg 2, having broken Cross's throw first up. He's already down after 9 darts to a 2-dart finish. Treble 15 hit, single 10 for tops. 12 dart, hold a throw, nonchalantly done by Luke Littler to go 2-0 up.
Well, so far we are getting the semi-finals that the quarter-final performance has suggested we would get. Michael van Gerwen breezed past Chris Dobey, and Luke Littler is saying to Rob Cross, you're not going to get a chance against me to take out a 170 in a last leg decider. Averaging, after a couple of legs, well into 3 figures. In fact, that maximum is second of the match for Luke Littler. He's going to take him way up into the 110s.
118 at the moment for a 3-dart average, and it looks like he's just getting started, although 2 darts below the red bit, and he can't adjust for the 19s for a treble down there, so a trebller's visit following the maximum.
It's 8 180s for the night as well for Luke Littler, remarkable.
Well, he was already well ahead in the 180s tally at the start of the night. He had 70 before tonight, and next best was Humphries with 41.
Yeah, it's consistently 5 or 6 a game, isn't it? Can't add a third in this match just yet. 140 will do very nicely though. 1-2-2 for a double break when he returns.
Cross trying to get down to a finish from 267, needs a treble, can't find one. Can't get himself going at the moment, voltage. Littler 1-2-2, treble 18 hit, another one would leave double 7. He actually went for treble 16 for double 10, his favourite. Only just inside.
Yeah, and he showed the awareness of where Rob Cross was, or rather where Rob Cross wasn't in that leg, which wasn't on a finish. 208, so Littler will return for 10, may even split this. No, he's going straight for it, crosses on his shoulder, inside the 5, single 1. He's landed below the treble there. That's I can only assume he was going for the treble to leave double 1.
Yeah.
Can't think he'd be that bad.
No, he wanted the madhouse, which is just sums him up really. Treble 18 for double 8 for Cross. He's hit the treble 18, wipe of the trouser leg, reset on the hockey, on the wire of double 8. God, he needs this to hold throw.
He's leaning a bit as well, yeah. He's deflected off that dart. He didn't like it. He had to step across a little bit. He's actually bust the score as well by going in the double 16. Not that it matters. It's Littler straight in the double 1 and leads 3-0.
Youngster in the crowd wearing the Luke the Newt t-shirt, and I imagine it would go without saying, wherever and however you're listening to us or maybe watching us tonight, that Littler merchandise is, well, they can't keep it in shops long enough when it comes to, because there's sets of darts, and there are various qualities of sets. There's beginner sets of Littler darts, and there's the set that's as close as possible to the ones he actually uses right now, as he looks to back up. Crosses 180 with a max of his own, but the dart shops can't keep these Littler sets in stock long enough.
Pre-order is their favourite word at the moment. Going ballistic for the maximums here. We've got one from Cross, one from Littler, and another from Cross.
He's on the 9 darter, is Cross. Littler coming down from 276. He hits back-to-back nines. It's ridiculous starting action.
It's 4 180s in a row. If Rob Cross can take out the 141, it's going to be another 9-dart finish. Gets the treble 19. Choices here. Treble 16 is his usual MO. Finds the single, and he may not even get a dart at double to win the leg.
Because Littler wants 96. Treble 20 will leave double 18. 76 left. Look for double-double on 19s. And ends up just laying up for tops.
So 48 is the remainder for Rob Cross. Don't think he wanted an 8, he wanted a 16 there, but he's got an 8, and that gives him 2 darts at tops. He only needs 1, and he's in the match.
It's broken throw as well to get it back to 3-1. I can't imagine anybody's won a ranking major on double 19, have they?
Not from memory.
Yeah.
We've looked across at Chris Mason, he's not moved, so I think...
No, there's a shake of the head from Mace.
Yeah,
it's never happened.
You're correct.
Littler trying to hit another maximum. Oh, the third dart just drifts into small 20.
I don't think many people will have broken Luke Littler in a leg where he's hit 2 180s before. That's just happened as well.
Get the statisticians on that. I mean, statistics in darts so heavily weighed in Luke Littler's favour at the moment with what he's doing, game on game, tournament after tournament.
Yeah, well, the stats in this one, an average of 110, but they don't always paint a fair picture. Van Gerwen in the last match only averaged 91.53, but it was a dominant performance.
Yeah. 3-1 to Littler, and he's looking for another maximum. Pops another one in from 227 to leave himself on a 2-dart kill. But there is a 146 outshot here for Cross if he can take it.
Well, he's already taken out a more unlikely finish, the 170, but the 146 will not be added. Does leave it handy though, just in case Littler can't take out 47.
7 for tops, right in the middle of the 7 bed. Underneath top, so treble 10. And for once, his favourite. He's wired it on the outside.
Is Cross going to work his way back into this? It didn't look like he stood a chance after the first 3 legs, but double 16 is found, and he's now suddenly within 1 of the world champion.
Clinging on, Rob Cross. I mean, he's averaging a shade under 100, so he's trying to stay with Littler as much as he can. Here's another chance, because Littler's put a sub-ton score in at the start of leg 6. If Cross can get ton 40, just to ask a question again, 85, not quite what he was after, slightly ahead rather than a good deal ahead. Littler straight back in. 140 in the end, as Kurt Bevins calls it.
Just watching it time after time now, we're seeing Luke Littler float the first 2 darts in and then try and slam in the third one. Often works for him as well.
We've seen so many different techniques, the stacking technique of Taylor being the most famous. Well, sitting the darts on top of each other.
The remarkable thing about Littler is he's got so many different techniques himself. He has been known to not just change his darts, but change his actual throw as well. He can do the stacker. And Mace will back me up on this. We've seen him when he did used to play at the Motor Super Series, suddenly decided he's going to play like that for a full match. He's just going to throw stackers for a full game.
I thought you were going to say decided to play left-handed to give everyone else a chance. That's next.
Yeah, there is.
That's next, isn't it?
One player I know of that's ambidextrous, a guy called Graham Usher, who actually reached the final of the World Seniors recently.
Right. Yes.
180 from Cross, and his third of the match gets him on to 95. Littler on 109 though to lead 4-2.
99 left. Treble 19 for double 16. A 109 checkout, peeled off to hold throw and keep Rob Cross at arm's length. 4-2 the Littler lead here.
Yeah, and he certainly was visible in the rear view mirror there, wasn't he, Rob Cross? That was an important battle to win from Littler.
Looking for another match. There it is.
And again, it's incredible to watch. Hard to describe to you listening, but the first 2 darts are totally different to the third one. It's really floated in the first 2, and then the third one is thrown with so much force.
Violence.
Yeah, but yet all find the same target.
more than one way to get a max, and then follow it up with the 60, Luke. So Cross still in this leg. It's his throw, remember, in leg 7. Cross is 4-2 down in a race to 6. Great first dart from Voltage. Oh, second dart veers into single 5, not off the flight either. That was just a poor visit from Rob Cross. Littler from 261 down to 180, so not a finish, but then Cross isn't on one either.
I think the final is going to be some spectacle if Luke Littler does close this out. Both players will want to win so much. Michael van Gerwen to return to the winner's enclosure, Luke Littler to keep him out of it.
Luke, who beat Van Gerwen in the World Final.
So can Cross cling on? 89. It'll be treble 19 for double 16. The route, if he hits a single 19, then he'll go 20 for the bull. Single it is. Steps back, wipes his hand as he so often does, finds a single 20. So bullseye, and this could be the match in his hands, and he gets nowhere near it on this occasion.
So he hits 17, well into small 17. Tops for Littler, pinned with one dart, and he's one leg away from the final, and a chance to extend his lead at the top of the Premier League table, 5-2.
Yeah, we already know he's staying at the top, and he's going to play Stephen Bunting in the quarterfinals next week. Luke Humphries is going to play Chris Dobey, second against 7th.
We'll wait and see how the rest of the draw pans out. It should be fairly clear by the time we get to the final.
Yeah,
who faces who in Newcastle completely.
And I think if Cross does lose this, which it looks like, it's going to be 4th against 5th, isn't it? Which is going to be huge between him and Gerwyn Price.
Again, as they played earlier, and Cross took out that 170 to just have the sign over Gerwyn. Maximum from Cross. That's his 4th, 10th of the match. And from 305, Littler's looking at the 18s and gets 7 of them.
Yeah, needed them all to leave a finish, so Cross can at least elongate the encounter. 224, really needs to get rid of it in 2 visits.
He's only hit 40. 184 left. Can he get down to a finish? Well, he's down to 164. We'll get a look at it.
Yeah, not good enough really from Cross there to trouble Luke Littler, although no treble from him with darts 1, 2 or 3, but he's on a much more favourable finish, 120. We've seen him go 3 tops for that in the Premier League before.
Well, Cross took out a 170 when the pressure was on. Oh, he went for 18s and hit treble 4, back to the 20s, and to the 32 score to leave him on double 16 if Littler can't win it on Shanghai on the 20s. Treble hit, single hit, tops for the match. Can he see it? Well, it's blocked. He wasn't sure whether it actually hit tops by mistake. Oh, he's pinned tops to win by 6 legs to 2. Fantastic dart play from Luke Littler, averaging nearly 110. And Chris Murphy, we've got the final that I guess we deserve from the quality of darts we've seen from both protagonists, Littler Van Gerwen.
No question that those two have been the top 2 in Cardiff tonight. Luke Littler producing an absolutely stunning display once again in a semi-final, showing an average well up in 3 figures. In the end there, Littler managed to post 107.67 and dismissing Rob Cross, but the technique, we spoke about the way he was throwing the darts, for that double top, he blocked it, he used the dart that was below the target to get it in, the mentality, it's all there for this 18-year-old wonder kid. And Michael van Gerwen's got his hands full in what should be a thrilling final.
And that is up next here on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel for a free watch along with myself, Ian Danter, and Chris Mason is going to join me. Murph, thanks for being with us as always, fella. Good to have you as part of the team once again. Chris Murphy, who you can hear regularly commentating on the Modus Super Series of Darts on Pluto TV and elsewhere. Brilliant competition for non-PDC Tour card holders to play in competitive televised darts, always worth checking out. But next up on talkSPORT 2, it is MVG against the Nuke for the right to say, I won Premier League Night 7 in Cardiff. Well, when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro, trademark, helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the dark web monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and you'll get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal as well. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. MVG against Littler up next.